Hello, my name is Hope. I am an INTJ who takes various personality tests. Today I am involved in the Enneagram universe. This is part 2 of a video because there was the main Enneagram test, and now I'm sure everyone is dying to come along on this journey to discover their own wing. So join me, friends, on a journey of self-discovery today. Oh, this is a yes or no. It's a forced choice. Do you often feel overwhelmed by too much social interaction? Sure. Do you pursue unconventional ideas and perspectives? Yeah. Do you value practicality and efficiency? Yes. Are you a planner and think ahead? Yes. Do you prefer to work independently without interference? Yes. Do you have a few but intense areas of interest? Yes. Do you prefer structured environments and clear expectations? Yeah. Do you have a rich inner world and vivid imagination? Yeah. Are you highly analytical and logical in your thinking? Yeah. Do you prioritize security and stability? Sure. Do you have an artistic or creative side that you express privately? Oh yeah. Are you detail-oriented and meticulous in your work? That's a tough one. I really struggle with keeping track of detail, like in my own head. I need to externalize it. So in my work, I often am detail-oriented and meticulous. But in my everyday life, not so much. Are you introspective, often lost in thought? Yeah. Do you prefer to observe rather than participate? Yes. Are you cautious and careful before making decisions? Yes. Do you enjoy exploring abstract and theoretical concepts? Of course. Do you often feel the need to withdraw and recharge alone? Uh-huh. Are you more comfortable with data and facts than emotions? Yeah. Do you seek knowledge and understanding above all else? Yeah. Are you skeptical and question the status quo? Uh-huh. That was like the easiest 20 questions ever. Okay, I am a 5-wing-6. That's what I thought. Okay, very good. Have you ever caught yourself running every possible scenario in your head just to make sure you've thought of everything that could go wrong? Do you sometimes feel like you're holding the weight of what if on your shoulders, constantly double-checking, analyzing before taking action? If that sounds familiar, you're probably 5-wing-6, the problem solver. Your brain is wired for curiosity, logic, healthy dose of caution. You're the thinker who wants to know how things work, not just for the fun of it, because understanding the world feels safer. Sure. Naturally skeptical, excellent at spotting potential risks. Why, thank you. I am an internal auditor. Balance your thirst for knowledge with the need for security can feel like walking a tightrope, exciting but exhausting. Interesting way to think about that. You're the type who doesn't just wonder about how things work, you break them down piece by piece until every detail clicks into place. Type Wing 6 makes you a thinker and a doer. You don't just chase knowledge, you want to know how to apply it. That's the most true thing ever. Imagine you're at work and there's a system that isn't running smoothly. While others might rush to patch things up, you're the one asking, okay, but what's causing the issue? Yeah, as an auditor, I'm looking for the root cause, usually what is the most pervasive issue, and can we correct that at its core so that it becomes a better system overall? Oh, the root of the problem. Oh, thank you. Your solution isn't just smart, it's practical. Okay, independent but team-oriented. Lone wolf but make it social. Push towards building trusted relationships, value competence and reliability in others? Yes. Know the power of having solid people in your corner. Tight circle of dependable coworkers or friends rather than being center of a crowd. Picture a group project. Well, happy to handle your part solo. Yes. You also want to know the team is capable. Absolutely. A small synergized team of competent individuals who each have their specialty. Absolutely. You step up, offer insights, make sure the project doesn't fall apart. Self-reliance with cooperation makes you reliable teammates. Yeah. A cautious problem solver, running through every possible outcome before making a decision. Natural at risk assessment and strategic thinking. Great at crafting plans that account for what could go wrong. Analytical, detail-oriented, loyal, reliable, cautious, prepared. Fear of inadequacy. I think that's true. Difficulty with emotional expression? Yeah, nail on the head, right? Feeling's not exactly your comfort zone. Great at analyzing situations, but when it comes to emotions, especially your own, you might hit the brakes. It can be hard to open up, even with people you trust. Letting yourself be seen emotionally is tough, but I don't even think it's like a conscious fear or anything like that. It's just like I don't necessarily have the tools to be emotionally expressive. It's just not in my tool set. Overthinking and paranoia? I don't know about that. Scanning for risks, yes. Troubleshooting scenarios before they happen. But because I often do this a lot, I have a certain level of comfortability with it that I think people don't understand. So someone on the outside looking in, they might think that it's more overthinking and imagining worst case scenarios like catastrophizing, but once you have a level of comfort with assessing risk and often solving problems, you're not crashing out. You have flexibility, you have adaptability because you are a problem solver. So this spinning out with overthinking or imagining worst case scenarios and catastrophizing is a little bit less common than people from the outside would think. Approach to love, okay. When it comes to love, you're not the type to dive in head first. Observe first, trust second. I mean, that's true. Careful, analytical, maybe a little guarded, sure. Built over time, yes, through trust, loyalty, and shared experiences. That is the core of my relationship philosophy. Yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, low key, we are conducting research. We're trying to gain information about you and we're trying to understand you. But isn't that what people often say they want? Often people say that they want to be understood and to be heard. So what's the matter? Yeah, what are their values? Are they reliable? Can I trust them? Notice little things, how they treat other people, for sure. That's a big one. How they handle stress is a huge thing for whether I'm going to decide to be in this relationship or not. Do they follow through? That's another important one. Some people fall for charm, but charm simply doesn't work on me. Strong sense of loyalty and protectiveness. I think that's true. I think troubleshooting alongside someone. That's kind of the INTJ way, because if we care about you, we want to kind of facilitate and guide you through the pathway of troubleshooting and problem solving. We don't necessarily want to be the one who's taking all of the responsibility and infringing upon your individual agency. Express love by being reliable, showing up and providing solutions. Yeah, so be on the lookout for that if you're interested in an INTJ or a type 5, because type 5s are not always INTJs, they might be something else. But a lot of INTJs are type 5s. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen an INTJ who isn't a type 5. Unless something like extremely different has happened to an INTJ, I think we're pretty much all type 5s in Enneagram. Vulnerability can feel uncomfortable. Talking about feelings might take some warming up. Sometimes you intellectualize emotions. That's true. Thinking about how you feel rather than feeling in the moment. Yeah, but it's like we heavily process our emotions because otherwise we can't talk about the emotions. Every emotion that we're talking about, we have at least begun to process because it's internal feeling, right? I mean, I guess I'm speaking from INTJs. Maybe it's different for like INTP 5s or whatever. But INTJ type 5s are introverted feeling. We've processed our emotions on our own, and maybe we haven't fully worked through it, but we've at least, if we're talking about it out loud, if we're intellectualizing it, then we've at least begun that processing on like a segment of those emotions. The challenge can get stuck in your head overthinking a relationship. I think that's more true. If INTJs are going to overthink anything, it's typically going to be the emotional aspects, because there's a lot of blind spots there whenever it comes to emotional expression and fully understanding how emotional expression connects to people's internal motivations, because sometimes there's a disconnect, sometimes there's projection, sometimes there's hiding and insecurity and things like that that get in the way, and that takes a lot of sort of vetting and processing and figuring out. And then the next step, after you kind of figure out how the emotional expression is connected to the internal motivations, the next step is trying to figure out how to respond to that. And that's also, it's like, how do I approach this? It's also very difficult to figure out like what is the best way to now navigate this sort of emotional package that has been identified. Personal growth, balance thinking with action, for sure. You shouldn't just continue to research. You need to see the action within the world and then get information from that. build trust by letting people in. Yeah, I mean, you do have to kind of like make yourself vulnerable and build a relationship in order to have that sort of deep intimacy that you might want with other people. You have to kind of open the channel for connection for that to work. Make space for emotions, even your own emotions. That's true. It's easy to disconnect from emotions, but leaning into them adds depth to your decisions. I do kind of find that to be true because it's just like another aspect of the decision-making process. Five winged sixes. Are any of these are all fictional characters. Oh, except for Stephen Hawking. It's not a fictional character, but everyone else is. Okay, very interesting. So I will wrap that up here. We know now, INTJ, I am a five wing six, the problem solver. I think a lot of the things that was said in this description was a lot more informative than just the standard Enneagram test. After you take the Enneagram test, I think this is the one that's going to offer you more valuable insight into what that might mean for you. But remember, the Enneagram is kind of a broader spectrum. The Enneagram types house multiple different MBTI types. And there's not always a one-to-one correlation. You might be getting a mix of different types. I think Enneagram is much more based on your childhood and how you kind of, through your environment and your early formative days, became the person you are now. And a lot of it is driven by core motivations and core fears. So with all that in mind, I will leave this video for now. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day wherever that day may find you. Even if that finds you constantly double checking and analyzing before taking action, I don't think you need to go that far. I don't think you need to be constantly double checking and analyzing. I think you should give it at least a good once over, for sure. Yeah.